What is up, you geezer, blow tie geezers? It is Chris Modder 9 here. Well, we're through to the Europa League final by the skin of our teeth. We had to win on penalties against Frankfurt, 4-3. But the most depressing thing about all of this is that we have to face Arsenal in the final. And if you're wondering, no, I'm not looking forward to it. And no, I'm probably not going to enjoy watching it. But what about that semi-final, second leg though, against Frankfurt, 1-1 again at Stamford Bridge, but then we get the job done on penalties, as I said. Now, there are a few things that I will say about that game that really, really did piss me off hugely. But before we start talking about that, let's just talk about the positive, which was the first half. Yeah, that's it. That is pretty much it. So, Ruben Loftus-Cheek scored a fantastic goal in the first half to make it 1-0. It was pretty much, he got the ball into the penalty box and then it was more of a side foot round the left side of the goalkeeper and in the far bottom corner. It was a great goal. Very, very well placed. And he deserved that goal because he was the best player on the pitch. Until he got taken off. But we'll get to that in a moment. First half, we dominated proceedings. It was pretty much fantastic football, great passing. Just couldn't get the second goal to try and kill things off. And that was really frustrating. What the hell happened in the second half, though? If you remember the game in Germany, the Frankfurt, the first leg, where we were poor in the first half, but better in the second half, this was a complete opposite. We were brilliant in the first half, but then we just turned off in the second half. In the second half, we had Jovic score against us again, courtesy of some absolutely abysmal defending yet again. Honestly, take a shot every single time I've said Chelsea with poor defending, and you'd be on the floor drunk. Who is the culprit for this? David Luiz and Christensen. I keep saying this. We need a better backline. We need a new backline. I don't even know how we do it. I don't even care if we got a transfer ban. We got our transfer ban upheld by FIFA the other day. They rejected it for the second time. And now we're taking our case over to CAS. So hopefully, if something comes of that and we're able to sign players in the summer, then our main priority is to sort out our back line because it's terrible. It's poor. There's just too much deadwood at the back and it needs to be changed. The other problem was our midfield. Now, Loftus-Cheek was pretty much carrying our entire midfield on his back. Kovacic didn't do too much, although I don't want to say anything too bad about Kovacic. I mean, there were times he was okay, but most of the time he was crap. Jorginho was 50-50. There were times where he was actually doing okay, but there were other times he just kept giving the ball away in midfield, which was terrible. But then the absolute cherry on top of a shit Sunday in that second half was Sarri, yet again, taking off Ruben for Barkley. What was going through Sarri's mind at that very instance when he decided to make that decision? I think every single Chelsea fan on this planet wants the answer to that question. I don't know what was going through his mind. Loftus-Cheek is the best player on the pitch. He is the main driving force to get a goal to win you the game, and you take him off. I believe I said this in the last video that I did. I said specifically in that video that I did in the first leg, why does he take Loftus-Cheek off, the best player on the pitch, and put on Barkley? And you could tell from the reaction from the Chelsea fans, they were booing him. They were actually booing him. And it's quite remarkable, actually. Look, Sarri's taken us to a European final. That's fine, okay? But the fact that his decision-making and his stubbornness is clear as day to see, then you can understand why it is that there are some Chelsea fans out there that don't like him. That don't like the way that he does things on the pitch. There's just something about him that just isn't there. What gives you the idea of taking off your best player in a time when you need to get a goal to go through and you take him off? Do you think Liverpool would have done anything like that against Barcelona? Do you think Spurs would have done anything like that against Ajax? Do you think Arsenal would have done anything like that against Valencia tonight? Why do we have a manager like this? Why do we have a manager that just doesn't understand the situation that we are in? Please, somebody explain to me why that's a good decision. Because guess what? It's not. But the truth is, guys, that game, it was frustrating to watch. It really was. I mean, second half, Frankfurt just looked like they were going to get a goal. They looked like they had more hunger in them. They had more resilience. They had the fans behind them. It's like it was a matter of when and not if they were going to get a goal. And like every single time they got forward and they tried to press us consistently, I was afraid they were going to get a goal. I think there were times during extra time they had a goal. Well, David Luiz blocked a ball off the line. I think there was a chance for, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Haller, the French guy up front for Frankfurt, had a chance. The ball got past Kepa, but then there was David Luiz on the line blocking the ball. So, like every single time Frankfurt had the ball, and it looked like they were going to get something. Luckily, they didn't. They had Rebic, they had Jovic, and they had the other guy, Kostic, up front for them. Like Rebic, for them, he had a slow start, especially in the first half, but then straight after, in the second half, completely tore us to bits at times. I'm not going to mention specific names, but there are a number of players responsible for giving away the ball in the second half and giving it to Frankfurt and giving them opportunities time after time. It's putting us Chelsea fans at absolute unrest, if you know what I mean, right? And then, well, after 120 minutes, it went to penalties, didn't it? Now, as you know with me in penalties, I don't like to watch them. It's too stressful. So I relied once again on Twitter to give me the updates. We went through because Kepa, I think he saved the last two penalties. And then Eden Hazard stepped up to score the winning penalty to take us to the European final. So, look, I'm ecstatic. I'm pleased that we are through to another European final. In the Europa League final, I might add. But, having said that, we got to go up against Arsenal, who, well, if you've been catching up with all of the latest with the Europa League, they absolutely destroyed Valencia. I honestly thought that Valencia would get maybe a 3-0 to sort of worry Arsenal a bit, you know. But for them to get a 4-2 win over bloody Valencia at the Mestalla, to beat them over two legs, it really does make me worry. It really does make me worry. And I've got to be honest, if they beat us in the European final, look, it's bad enough to see us lose against them in an FA Cup final. This is a European final. Yeah, it's not the Champions League, but you know, any European final is a big final, right? If they beat us, I don't think my heart's gonna take it. I really don't. Like the last times we have played against Arsenal in a major final, they have beaten us. FA Cup final for one, and I do believe, I mean, it didn't really matter at the time, but look at that friendly match that we had back in Ireland. I think it was in Dublin, where we had a friendly, and then it went on penalties. And they beat us there too. So, it worries me to have to go up against Arsenal. Not only because they always beat us in major finals, but, I don't know if you kind of noticed, I'm raised up in a family of Arsenal supporters, so, you know, it's kind of difficult, you know, just kind of thinking about it. I hate going up against Arsenal in any kind of competition, let alone the Premier League, let alone the Europa League, whatever competition it is. I hate going up against them. I hate going up against any of the other members of the Big Six in the Premier League. That be Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, United, City. I hate going up against any of those teams. But against Arsenal, it has to be done in Baku, in Azerbaijan. So I guess we got to do another video. So, should I be pleased about going through? Yes, of course I am. Of course I'm pleased about going through. Of course I'm pleased about going to another European final. Of course. But it wasn't our best performance today. We made things very difficult for ourselves. Frankfurt took initiative of the game in the second half, and we were chasing the game majority of the time. Making silly decisions, making stupid passes, and even Sarri is to blame today because of terrible, terrible decisions. Because of those substitutions. Because of that, Loftus-Cheek substitution where he took him off for Barkley. Like, everyone was booing him. I don't know what was going through his mind. I don't know. But at the end of the day, what matters is we are through by the skin of our teeth, but still, going through is going through, and we're in the final. We have Eden Hazard to thank for putting us through. So, and speaking of Hazard, by the way, why are people saying, you know, it's his last game at Stamford Bridge, or cherish the final game for Eden Hazard? Look, I know a lot of us have sort of conceded the fact that he's going to Real Madrid, alright? But nothing's happened yet. So I don't know why people are saying this is Hazard's final game at Stamford Bridge. What if he turns around and says, I want to stay at Chelsea because we're in the Champions League, don't forget? What if he turns around and says, actually, you know what? I don't want to go to Real Madrid. My heart is at Chelsea. His family, I do believe, actually really like living in London. Look, you have your opinion, I have mine. But I refuse to believe this is Eden Hazard's last game at Stamford Bridge. If Chelsea cared about Eden Hazard, they will do their absolute best to try and keep him. Let's be honest, guys. We do have Champions League football. If we didn't have Champions League football and we'd have to play in the Europa League for next season, then yeah, I would definitely say, yeah, okay, this is definitely Eden Hazard's last game at Stamford Bridge. But come on, guys. Surely you have to have some sense, right? Please don't start conceding, oh, he's leaving. I still believe there is hope. But, look. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I just want this season over. I just want this season over so I can focus on more better things, in all fairness. But no, like I said, I'm pleased to see Chelsea go to another European final, of course. If I'm talking like a complete idiot right now, it's probably because I've watched a long game of football. My head's just all over the place. I'm getting old, alright? I'm sorry if I've peed off a majority of you, and, you know, if you don't agree with my views, then that's fine. But whatever is said on this channel, it's my opinion only, okay? If you don't agree with that, that's fine. If you agree, that's fine as well. I just feel what I feel, alright? This is just how I feel. So, having said that, I'm going to move on just to change the subject just a little bit because I want to talk about the London Spitfire game against Hangzhou Spark in the Overwatch League. Playoff quarterfinals, I think it is. Now, that game starts at 4 AM. I'm not sure if I'm going to be awake to be able to watch that. So don't be surprised if you don't see a video of me doing a review of the Spitfire versus Spark game. I'm probably not going to be awake to watch it, which is sad because it starts at 4 AM. And you know what? The thing is with American times and our times is that America is 5 or 6 hours behind us. So if it's like 12 o'clock in the morning, over there it's probably like 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? So it's going to be very difficult for me to watch that game between Spitfire and Spark because it's so bloody late in the morning. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have to maybe watch a rerun. Don't go on Twitter. Don't go on anything of social media related. And probably just, I don't know, maybe, oh boy, I'm not sure. Probably catch a rerun or something. And then once I've watched the entire game, then I'll probably do a review. But just don't be surprised if I don't do a review on this playoff game, which is, it sucks because it's a playoff quarterfinal and I can't watch it because it's bloody so late in the morning. Overwatch League really needs to sort its times out because this is getting silly now. Like, I'm a London fan. I want to watch London Spitfire take on Hangzhou Spark, and when I can't do it because the times are too bloody late, it's frustrating. Anyway, I've been waffling on for too long. Thank you very much for watching, guys. As I said, very, very pleased for Chelsea to go through to another European final. It's a bit of a pity that we're going up against Arsenal, but there you go. There you go. Liverpool-Tottenham Champions League final as well. Great, I can't wait to watch that. On one hand, Tottenham winning the Champions League final. I'd rather see the world end. On the other hand, you got Liverpool winning another Champions League. Do you know what? If I had a gun to my head and I had to choose, I'd go for Liverpool simply because I don't want to see Tottenham winning it, because I still want to see Chelsea being the only team in London with a Champions League trophy. If Tottenham ends up winning it, then they've got something to shout about. They've got some bragging rights, I guess. I mean, if Liverpool win it, then I guess it would hurt. But I mean, what can you do in a situation like this? Anyway, I know this video's been really long, and I'm going to end it now. So thank you very much for watching. Leave me your comments down below what you thought of tonight's game, and I'm going to end this video just in case my camera runs out of battery. This video's all over the place. It really is. I need to stop. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, I shall see you later. Hey do, and peace.